hype about living the dream? It's time for truth. This is the place for tools, power, and real talk so you can create the life you dream and deserve. Your ultimate life. Subscribe, share, create. You have infinite power.
Hi there, welcome to Your Ultimate Life. This podcast dedicated only and solely to help you create a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy that you create by serving with your gifts and talents. Now, this is a different view than we normally have, and I did it on purpose. I'm going to give you several views here of the studio just to show you a little bit about how all this works. Because today's episode is about movement, about mastery. Remember, we did an episode on the message, and I'm promising you more episodes on the message because the message is the fundamental power. If you don't know where you're going, then all the tools in the world won't help you. So it's message, method, mastery. Remember that. Message, method, mastery. That's for you too. Let's say you help me build a garden. The message is, me, I suck at that. But you're going to help me build a garden. And then the method would be how I can learn to do that. And the mastery would be getting good at it. So I have that too. The message was a few episodes ago. The method was a couple episodes ago. And today we're going to talk about mastery, how to go from mediocre to powerful, how to get to be in mastery at whatever you want. So this gives you a picture. So here's the microphone that you're hearing. This is the one. Now there's an iPhone back there. I'll show you the view there in a minute. I've got another camera over here that I use sometimes. And there it is. And that's on this side. Okay. And it's just to give a different view. You see the speakers that we've got. And the final view that I'll share with you is the one from the iPhone behind. And this one is on Wi-Fi, so it takes a second to get in. It's broadcast from the phone. There you are. From the phone through the Wi-Fi. And so I've just put this up, and you can see there the camera that I use for the good one is right there. And I use a DSLR, a very, very good camera with some really good glass. And that's why the episodes are so sharp. Now we'll switch back to the normal camera and get back to where we are. So there you can see the iPhone behind, and the other two cameras are here on the sides. Now, why did I show you that? What do you care? Well, you know what? I'm really surprised at how many people are interested in doing their own kind of podcasting and content creation. So I showed you that because this is an episode about mastery. One of the things that you would have noticed, if I go back to the thing with the Wi-Fi, so it's going to take a sec for me to appear, you'll see behind the screens there, I've got stuff on the walls. And that is called Sonex. And it's a sound absorptive material so that it sounds good and I don't get a lot of echo or, resonance from the corner of the room. Another thing that's fun is in this view right here, which is this camera over here, you'll notice a bunch of palm trees. What is that? Well, you know what that is? You know what that is? I'll show you. How fun. That is this. It's actually the green screen that's behind me. But I've used this software to replace it with the funny palm tree picture that I have. That's the same software that I use to create these kind of views. My point in showing all that was mastery. I have become a master at the visual. The camera that you're looking at me through is fabulous. It's Canon and a good DSLR. And I always invest in really good glass, so it's always sharp. I don't like, out of focus or fuzzy or pixelated stuff, and it's not really necessary anymore. You can do powerful, good content with good gear, and it's not that difficult. So I'm surprised. I guess I won't even say surprised anymore at the number of people that really want to do podcasting. I just talked to somebody the other day, this week, that's just starting a podcast. They've got 2 or 3 episodes, and they wanted to know all about how I do this and how I do that. And it was fun and powerful to share all that with them. Now, remember, we're talking about message, method, mastery. And there, I didn't even have my last light on to get the face lighted properly. I had it turned off because I was looking at something down there. Anyway, message. You're divine, you're capable. If you're interested in doing the work, you can find a very powerful offering to the world to make all kinds of cash, add good to the world, and create the life you want. Purpose, prosperity, and joy. Purpose, prosperity, and joy. Do you have a life purpose? Does it drive you? Does it light you up? Every time I do one of these episodes, I at least mention 300 million. I'm working to get 300 million people to understand the message of WIPOS, your worth, your identity, your possibility, the ownership and sovereignty that you have of your life. 90% of people don't take advantage of that, sort of live in this response mode. You don't have to be one. My purpose is to help 300 million people own that and do something with it. If you want help, KellanFluckigerMedia.com. That URL that's on the screen is a contact form. Reach out. That's all I'm doing is helping people, beautiful, fabulous people like you, take advantage of their personal gifts and talents. Now, I've got this little glitch, and it's already glitched twice. I don't know what's going, 3 times. I don't know what's going on with that. I reset everything, and I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and record this episode, and it'll glitch sometimes. It reminds me of the old Max Headroom program that used to be on, I don't know, I think it was in the 80s, and about a guy that got sucked up into a computer. So let's get right to it. Today, mastery. If you have a message, then I invite you to come on the show. I invite you to get a hold of me, KellanFluckigerMedia.com. Let's talk. Let me understand what your message is, because one of the things I love as much as anything about my work, my mission, is to help you get your message crystallized, powerful, and available. Many people say to me, I know I love helping people. And I say, how? Well, I help them be their best self. That's pablum. That's nothing. In what area? And it always comes from their life story, their life events. I just talked to somebody the other day who really works with women who are exiting narcissistic relationships where they've been abused emotionally and sometimes otherwise. And therefore, they're an expert at that. They had that. They've experienced it. They got over it. They learned. They got past it. And now they offer that help. I have a guy that's a cancer survivor, many, many years, a couple of decades. He offers that help. I have a guy that loves to help people form nonprofits and do fundraising. It comes from his own passion. So the gift that you have that you're best at isn't some weird thing you're going to go find in the Amazon. It's going to be what's in your life. What have you experienced? What have you gone through that makes you committed to do a thing? Me, I've struggled with depression, mental illness, addictions, self-sabotage, trashing my life over and over again, sabotaging careers, failing at 3 times at marriage. And now I've created the ultimate life. We just celebrated our 17th wedding anniversary. I'm planning on 17,000 more years with an eternal companion. Wonderful, happy joy. So I've learned that. I used to struggle living other people's lives, their story, what they said they wanted, etc. No more. No more. So I'm a master at that. Now I've written 20 books. I'm just starting number 21. Not just starting, been working on it for a little bit. And I'm a master at that, so I can help you do that. I've created many, many products, info products, online products, how-to products. I can help you do that. I create and sell them regularly. So I add good to the world using my life experience and the gifts that I have. And now my passion is to help you do that because you're just as smart as I am. You're just as capable. Your story matters as much, and you can help people just like I can. Now, my journey has brought me to the place where I'm saying 300 million people, and people say to me, what the frick, 300 million? It's not just 300 million, it's 300 million this year. I have a client right now who, when we started working together, he was depressed. He's considered sometimes ending his life, thought he'd never get ahead, had terrible relationships, just a laundry list of stuff. And today, he is powerful, capable, and he and some business partners are getting ready to approach within the next year or two, probably two, a $400 million buyout of his company. Now, I don't know about you, but can you imagine? Why can't that be you? He isn't any smarter than anybody else. $400 million buyout. And it isn't that cash is the answer to everything, because it's not. But purpose, prosperity, and joy is yours. And here's what it takes. It takes the message. It takes you accepting the message that you are worthy. You're worth it. You're a divine being. That is your identity. You're that. You can't even change that no matter what you do. And because you're a divine being, your possibilities are infinite. And the next piece is you own your life. You own it unless you give it away. That was a hard one for me to learn, because I believed for many decades, that my only redemption came from doing what somebody told me to do. My parents, and I believed him. So I did that. That was my mission. My duty is to make them happy, to live the way they imagined. Well, whether they meant it badly or not doesn't even matter. They have no idea who I am, and who I am and what I really want to and can do. And that is a failing that many parents make. My blessed wife that I'm married to now, she happens, and I don't think there's any accidents, that she was raised this way, and then I had the ultimate absolute privilege of her saying yes to marrying me. She was raised in a family where whatever she wanted to do was encouraged, and she's done all kinds of stuff. She's had half a dozen careers. She worked at Disney World. She's a makeup artist. She's a degreed designer. She designed computer or websites and learned computer programming, studied architecture, traveled through Europe and many times. And no, they weren't rich and silver spoons. She earned it all. She paid her way through college painting silk painting, which she learned from a Japanese kimono painting master. I'd never experienced anything like that until suddenly to touch, to be with someone who has that and understands it and can model that for me, liberated me. And I'm about liberating you if that's a struggle. People are stuck behind the idea that they're no good. They got nothing to offer. Their story doesn't matter. Gee, who would listen to me? That's just absolute nonsense. It's nonsense. I love you to pieces. It's nonsense. Your gift to the world is as important as mine. Are you using it? Are you using it? Think about that and sit on it. So that's the message. The message is your worth, your identity, your possibility, your ownership, right? And your sovereignty. You own your life, and nobody can tell you what to do with it. Now, there are circumstances where you're struck with an illness. So externalities force you or me to do something. You know my story about dying and being in a hospital for a month and taking 2 years to learn to walk again in recovery. And 6.5 years now later, my lungs still aren't recovered. And I was told they probably never will fully recover. So I have that. I now have some arthritis in my right leg and so forth. So I use a cane sometimes. Those are simply parts of the boundary. It's like saying I used to be 6 feet and a half, 6 feet, 1/2 inch tall, and now I'm 5'11 and a half. I shrunk an inch. Those are just externalities. We all have them, and we can chafe or we can work with them. So in all love, I'm telling you, those are irrelevance. Irrelevance. Now, the method a couple episodes ago was all of the things that I said about. Listen to episode 952. I gave you 10 different methods to capitalize, to identify and capitalize on your gifts if you want to. Now, you're free to stay stuck where you are, but the reason I'm pounding on this is because so many people that I talk to, they're not happy in their job, they don't feel fulfilled, and they have already quit, and they're out trying to do something. And then they say, I don't know what my purpose is. I can't really find it. Or I think I know what it is, but I don't know how to make any money at it. Or I'm afraid that book or that story or that product has already been made 15 times and nobody will listen to mine. You know what? Standard stuff. Not true. Not true for you and not true for anybody else that says it. You're unique and you're powerful. And the only thing that matters is you deciding to get off your butt and go get it done. And my specialty, my absolute genius, world-class specialty is to help you identify your message, figure out how to serve people with it, figure out how to find the people that need you, create the business and cash to make it happen, and then joyfully go get it done. Yeah. So I'm starting right now, in fact, today or yesterday and the next day or two, if you hear this on the day of release, I'm starting a challenge. I'm going to help people write a book, get the book published, get an Amazon bestseller, get a product created, and learn how to market it. That's a 6-month workshop. You want that? Let's talk. KellanFluckigerMedia.com, get the contact form. It's not too late. Let's get on it. If you don't want it, I'm okay. I love you, but do what you want to do. No excuses. No, I can't. It's too late. I'm too old. I don't have time. It's not my season. I'm too young. I'm too not experienced enough. Nobody cares. I'm not interesting. I don't know how to get on video like you do, Kellan. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm done with that. We're talking today. The third part is mastery. So after you understand my message, which is that you're great and that you are destined to change the world if you want to, and the methods, I've given you a boatload in episode 952. The third episode is mastery. Mastery. And here's what I know about mastering different things. I have mastered studio work. I create world-class music, and I know how to mix and master and get it out to the world. So I'm a master at that. Okay? I play the piano and have since I'm 5. I'm a master at piano performance, a master accompanist, a master composer, etc. I've worked on vocals now with the A-list vocal coach for 10 years. So I'm a master vocalist. And I'm not saying that say yay me. I'm saying there are things that you already are, or you can master if you want to. But let's talk about what it takes. What does it take to be a master? And I don't mean the best in the universe, because who knows that anyway? That's all subjective. But easily at mastery level so that you can make a difference in the world and make money. Make a difference in the world and make money and have more fun than you can imagine. Purpose, prosperity, and joy. Make a difference in the world. Make money and have more fun than you can imagine. Is that what you want? I think so. I'm challenging you to say yes. I'm challenging you to get a hold of me, KellanFluckigerMedia.com. Use the contact form. Let's talk. One of the ways that I do that is I have these guests that you've seen, and I do that because I want to hear their stories, and so do you. Because you look, wow, if they can do it, maybe I can. Cancer survivors and abuse survivors and people that are visionaries and book writers. I just talked to another guy the other day who is creating a platform, a whole platform, to help people understand a different way to use their gifts, to get good at stuff. I talked to another guy the other day, Sam, a few episodes ago. He uses sound. He makes sound with his voice, and I don't even know exactly how that works, to heal trauma. And he's good at it. He's got testimonials running out his ears. So there's all these things, and you're one of them. But mastery takes work. So let me share with you the secrets of mastery. The secrets of mastery. Frustration isn't one of them. Impatience isn't one of them. Both of those are ones I fought like hell with. I was impatient. I wanted everything now. Frustrated when things didn't work as fast or as well as I wanted. Those ate my lunch over and flipping over and over again. Tears, sad, I'm not good enough, it'll never happen. Why the frick can't I find the right this, that, and the other? You know what? The answer to those questions don't even matter. It's like saying, why did I get sick? I'm getting over a cold right now, the very last stages of a cold. It's messed me up for a week. I couldn't practice. I had to cancel my vocal lesson on Tuesday I'm recording this on a Saturday, but on Tuesday I had to cancel my vocal lesson with my A-list Hollywood vocal coach. Why? Because I couldn't sing very well. I didn't want to waste the time. Right? Did I want that? Did I ask for it? No, of course not. So that all happens to all of us. frustration, setbacks, grumpiness, blah, blah, blah. But you know what you know for sure? You see that sunset going down? I took this picture from an airplane way up high, so you could just barely see the last piece of sun going down out the window from the airplane. It's beautiful. But you know what we know? It's going to come up in the morning. I know, and so do you. The sun's coming up in the morning. So tomorrow in 24 hours, I could take that picture again if I was in the same plane in the same place, right? It's going to be there. So one of the things I want to give you is all the encouragement and examples I can, and I have dozens. If you want to know what they are, let's talk. So many people come and they say to me, well, my particular thing is so weird and so different, this all won't work for me, and that's bullshit. How do you know? I dare you to talk to me and let's find out, because I know I've never had someone talk to me where we can't figure out passion, prosperity, purpose, prosperity, and joy. We can figure it out. I don't know if you're going to do the work, right? To get the frameworks and tools and, make the steps to make it happen. That's up to you. But the mastery part, here's what I needed. I needed to make declarations. I needed to decide, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. And then I needed to create, I call it a DCP, daily creation process. It's way 1,000,000 trillion times more powerful than a morning ritual. Morning ritual is a cliche thing that lots of us used to do, and we struggle. Oh, I got up late, I can't. If that's what you're doing, fine. That's your morning ritual. A daily creation process is intentional, focused. You never skip it, and you do it on purpose. Here's the funny part. You're doing a daily creation process whether you know you're doing it or not. Your daily creation process might suck. It might leave you not energized, powerful, focused, clear, excited. It may leave you barely functioning or, bunch of coffee, okay, now I can face the day kind of stuff. That's not the way to have mastery. So one of the most important things I learned and I now share is how do you create yourself so that you're on fire every day? Wouldn't that be nice? Like you've had days where you were super energized, super focused, super successful, right? Of course you have. What if you could have that every single day? What if you could have it on demand? What if you could have it even during the day when things went south? And you didn't have to say, well, I'll just tough today out. Nope, tomorrow gets better. No, what if you could just flip a switch and do a thing and get right back into the groove, in flow, in focus? Yeah, what if you could do that? Well, you can. You, right here, right now. KellanFluckigerMedia.com. Use the contact form. Let's talk. Here are the secrets to mastery. 1, you decide for sure you're going. I'm going to that mountaintop. I am going to master my craft. Now, mastery doesn't mean you're going to be Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci. They were unique, but so are you. Your version and method of mastery is going to be yours, and it's going to be just as good as anyone else's for the right people. One of the things I had to learn, so I'm thinking, my message will help everybody in the universe. I mean, if everybody in the world understood that they were divine and that they could create their own life, wouldn't that change the world? And the fact is, maybe it would. But my voice, my approach, my message, my method pushes some people away because I'm a little noisy. Or the experiences of my background. Sometimes when people find out I've been an addict and attempted suicide years ago, but I did, it's like, oh, wow. Okay, they're not my people. Somebody, you maybe, are there for them. I had somebody that I was interviewing for a podcast, and I'm not going to say who, the other day, and they were talking about forgiveness, and they talked about learning to forgive themselves. And then I asked, because I always do, and this was after the show, what kinds of things they were talking about where they had struggled. And they'd listed some, and to them, it was very serious. But they had been married for decades, one wife, very successfully, and, were worried about forgiving things that to me seem important but small. And they certainly are on the road to mastery, no diminishing. And I thought how blessed I was, and I described to this individual some of the things that I had to forgive myself for, suicide attempts, being a rotten dad, failing at 3 marriages, just on and on and on. And he could hardly speak because he hadn't actually thought about that level of forgiveness. But you know what? The God and creator of us all includes all of it. So I don't care where you've been. Another principle of mastery. It's never too late. You have to start now. Well, you don't have to do anything. You can start right now. It doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't. It is never too late to matter and have a big impact. Now, another principle of mastery is persistence. You're going to have to keep going. Everybody knows the story of Edison and either 1,000 or 10,000 efforts to make a light bulb, and said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. Okay. It's how he chose to look at it. Now you can say, wow, he did that so he didn't feel terrible about his failures. No, he created the light bulb, period, end of story, that we all use, so mic drop. So persistence is a principle of mastery. To me, one of the most important things is giving yourself permission to go at it. I had to overcome that. I believed I sucked and everything that I'd done made it too late, etc. Permission goes right along with forgiveness. Forgiveness means fixing whatever you can and then dropping the energy of failure, ending the energy of failure, giving yourself permission to roll. Probably the single most important thing, well, there's two or three that vie for first place, was getting good coaching. No Olympic athlete ever got to the podium without a coach. No vocal performer ever got where they were without a coach. Whether it's a formal coaching relationship or an informal one, there was a coaching container. This is what I love. I coach high performers. I coach people who have thumped their fist and said, I'm going to that beautiful sunset. I'm climbing that mountain. I'm bringing that product, that book. My blood, sweat, and tears is going to happen. I'm that guy. And the reason I'm the coach for that guy is because that's me. I have done that over all the difficulties and broken glass and struggles and everything. Yeah, been there, done that successfully. I know what it is and what it takes. And that's why I love it so much, because the liberation you feel when you set some old fear aside, when you stop believing in some old gobbledygook story, there's nothing like it. It's magnificent. And you know what I'm talking about. Magic. Magic beyond magic. Well, you can have that. It's yours. I was just exchanging voicemails with someone this morning who wants to write a book, and they're a little worried about writing their own story because they're afraid. Vulnerability. Somebody's going to think this, that, and the other. You know what? Maybe they are. There are ways to do all of that that create the power for your reader without pointing fingers and throwing stones at other people that did whatever they did. So I love you. My yearning is to help you hear the message of your worth, your identity, your possibility, the ownership and the sovereignty that you have over your life. To find and adopt the methods, frameworks, tools, processes to identify and develop your gifts and the mastery. I am in that work and I love it. I've never done anything more fulfilling, more fun, more joyful in my life. Now, I said finding a coach was one of the most important things. As a final thing, I'm going to talk about two other things. Number one is in your daily creation process, it has to be founded on something. Okay, daily creation process. If I don't know what my sport is in the Olympics, then my warm-up and my exercise routine is going to be random and or useless, right? If I'm going to be one of those Tour de France guys whose thighs are as big around as my shoulders, I have to know I'm going to cycle. If, on the other hand, I'm going to be a pole vaulter, the exercises for the cyclist are completely wrong. So you have to know where you're going. Now, there are some things that are the same. Part of my daily declaration is I am infinite and eternal. So are you, but I remind myself of that every day. I am a son of Almighty God. So are you, son or daughter. I am a disciple and friend of Jesus Christ. I choose that. Maybe you have that, and maybe you have some other guiding star. I am love, pouring over your soul like warm sunshine to create miracles in the moment. One question I love to ask people when I talk to them is, how do we create a miracle for you today? And one of three things happens. One, oh, that's very nice. Maybe you can wave a wand and create a bunch of stuff for me. And that's how they hear it. Another group are shocked by it, and they think I'm a little bit silly, only I'm serious, and they don't know exactly what to say. And so then we dig in a little bit. The third group take it seriously, and they're like, wow, let's do this. Let's talk about this. How would I do that? And those are sometimes powerful and fruitful conversations, meaning the walls are on fire and people are weeping, and it's like, yes. So when I say I'm love pouring over your soul like warm sunshine to create miracles in the moment, I mean that. And I don't know what your declarations are. I'm giving you a small example of mine. A little piece. It's over 3,000 words. Another one is, I am forgiveness with compassion, grace, and patience for everyone, including myself. Why would I say that? Well, I needed to put that in there because I needed that. I needed to forgive, and I needed forgiveness. Maybe we'll get forgiveness from other people, and maybe we won't. But we can forgive everyone, and we can change who we are so we become vessels of power. A beacon of light, vessel of love, and conduit of power is the way I describe that. A conduit of power. Mastery comes with effort, and you have to know where you're going. So I would give you an invitation, 3 invitations actually. Number 1, I'd love to hear your story, your life story, your journey, your desire. Like, what are you trying to create in the world and why? Excuse me. See, I said I was at the tail end of this cold. What are you trying to create in the world and why? Number 2, what's stopping you from the absolute pinnacle of expression? Might not be what you think. And number 3, how can I serve you? I'm inviting you to think about that. If you have a story you'd like to tell or to increase your reach, I'd like to talk to you. If you'd like help creating your products or your books or identifying your story or how you can make the difference in the world you want, I'd like to talk to you. That's my area of expertise. I'm inviting you, if you need help, to get a hold of me. If you have a story you want to tell, love to see you here on the show. All of the ways to do that, go to KellanFluckigerMedia.com and use the contact form so we can talk. That's all I do, is talk to cool people just like you. Why would I do that? Because I'm committed to reach 300 million this year with the message of your own divinity and your possibility and your sovereignty, to give you the methods to make it happen and help you with the mastery so that you move forward and create your ultimate life.
Never hold back and you'll never ask why. Open your heart and this time around.
Right here, right now. Your opportunity for massive growth is right in front of you. Every episode gives you practical tips and practices that will change everything. If you want to know more, go to KellanFluckigerMedia.com. If you want more free tools, go here, yourultimatelife.ca. Subscribe, share,